Late summer means harvest. Huge combines with only one man to operate them cut and thresh the wheat fields of today. But it wasn't always this way. Once it took as many as 35 men and many horses or mules to bring the wheat to the stationary threshing machine of the early 1900s. The big thresher and the steam engine that powered it were moved onto the farm and the derrick set up. Poles, lines, and pulleys were put in place. Just to line the steam engine and the thresher so that the long belt would run straight was a real challenge. First to enter the grain field was the push header. 6 mules pushed the header through the wheat so that stems were cut and the grain fell onto a conveyor belt which carried it to the header box. A team of 2 horses or mules pulled the header box alongside the push header so that the grain was carried to the wagon box. Notice that the header box is higher on one side than the other so that the grain does not spill over. It took several header boxes to keep up with a push header. It took skilled drivers to handle both the push header and the header boxes. Turning a corner was no small feat. The animals pushed rather than pulled the header so that the wheat was cut before their feet would trample. When the boxes were full, they were driven close beside the platform near the threshing machine. Each header box had a net on the bottom. A line with a hook was fastened to a ring on the net. Another pair of horses now pulled the net up and the wheat was dumped on the platform. No easy way to do it now. The wheat had to be forked into the thresher by hand. A hot, dusty, and hard job. The steam engine which powered the thresher took a crew of several men to keep the firebox going, bring up the fuel, and keep the boiler full of water. A sack jig filled gunny sacks with grain as it poured from the spout on the opposite side of the thresher, and a sack sewer closed the sacks. An average sewer could sew 650 sacks a day. Water was in great demand in this operation. Water for the steam engine, water for the animals, and for the men. And so another team of horses or mules and another driver was needed for the water wagon. All of these animals had to be cared for in the morning, at noon, and at night. Only when the horses or mules were fed could the men eat their meal. For the farm wives, this was also a time of hard work and long hours. 3 big meals were prepared each day in a cook wagon near the fields. The women took pride in serving hearty and tasty meals. About 20 to 30 acres could be harvested in a day with a day's yield of about 600 sacks. The harvest lasted for about 30 days on the average farm. Harvest during this time was a huge undertaking and needed a big crew. The pioneer spirit of neighbor helping neighbor was never more evident than during harvest.